I had a really terrific education at Fairfield. I had a number of wonderful professors, and I benefited from the kind of rich liberal arts tapestry that you guys are now all enjoying. I was naive and didn't do what I thought was good for my career or what might be my career, but rather what I was passionate about. I thought I liked philosophy because I'd studied a lot of classics in high school, and so that was my first major. And then I took a class, an intro to religious studies class with Dr. Davidson, and I realized that that a lot of what drew me into philosophy, namely this idea of creating schemas of kind of relationships between ideas, was born out in religious studies. And in addition to that, you had these really awesome stories about gods with many arms. And if any of you have had a class with Dr. Davidson, it gets much richer than that. And so I say that to you to say, I feel as though I benefited from that education insofar as I was bit by the bug of learning very early. And throughout my career, what has driven me more than anything has been a desire to do things that kind of similarly engage me intellectually. I had the benefit of doing an internship where I was running a small ad sales operation for an online futures news site back when the capital I internet was just becoming a thing, so they gave it to an intern to do. So I had that to fall back on when I didn't have any jobs when I graduated, so I kind of did that. And while it was a sales job initially, I quickly kind of took to the job the same way that Fairfield had kind of taught me to, which is looking at what the job entailed in a greater sense, and that meant understanding how advertising works and how technology works and how the competing business interests are for that particular industry. And that is, I think, a leitmotif which has carried me throughout my other jobs, which is finding things that you're excited about and then probing them as deeply and passionately as you can is really been a lock and key for me professionally. It has made going to work ceaselessly interesting. It presents challenges because if you're always trying to learn something new, it's very hard to be bored. And I'm speaking vagaries here, so I'm giving you nothing concrete. What else can I say? So the current job I'm in, I started out as general manager of a business news site. I was the first employee, which made it very exciting. So I was responsible for printer, toner, and coffee, and making sure computers were working. But I also had other jobs like growing the business and ultimately understanding editorial direction. And in this job, where I find myself now, it is a deeply analytical job. We use a great deal of statistics and mathematics and economics. We've designed a number of internal systems to doing analysis programmatically, which economics lends itself to, econometrics, if anyone's taking any economics classes. And I say that because I never knew when I started out as a philosophy religion major, or when I was in ad sales, or when I was a technology sales guy, that I would be doing economic analysis or visualizations or writing programs. And what led me here was a passion to learn, being excited about what I did, and being not smart enough to know that I didn't know what I was doing. So I kept on trying. I hire, every single one of the people I hire, I generally hire for one reason, and that's because they're giant, unapologetic geeks. And in the interviews, they completely geek out. And that is why I hire them, because they telegraph to me that whatever silly project they did, that was their senior thesis, or some paper that they got especially excited about, they telegraph how important it was to them, and they will, if they're doing their job, they're going to describe how complicated it was, how unique their perspective was, even if it wasn't especially unique. They're going to do their best to demonstrate that to me. And that is one of the most important things in any interview. Is give it 110%, completely geek out, be excited about those silly gotcha questions they ask you.